Yo, what's going on, boys? Davey Trades is here back with another exciting YouTube video for you guys. If you recall, I have been talking about NQ. My last video, which was May 22nd, took a little bit of time off. Let's see, where's May 22nd here? This is June, May. Aha, so around this area here, I've been talking about how price is just going to continue to the upside. And we were targeting at the time this area, right? So this was our all-time highs, right? And what I said was going to happen was that price was going to come through the top side after this long-term accumulation, right? Or a reaccumulation model. And we are going to see a lot of upwards momentum carrying us to the top side. And that is exactly what has happened, right? So if we look at it on a hourly time frame, we have, again, our direction, correction, continuation, right? We have our direction, we have a smaller correction, and then we have a continuation, right? And from there we get another correction and a continuation. And what I assume is going to happen is we're going to see another correction into continuation, right? I see a lot of speculation online, people saying that price is about to kind of come down to the downside. Maybe. I doubt it. But let's take a look at an even higher time frame, and so let's see if that's something that's actually feasible. So, larger accumulation. No, I don't see any reason for price to just start downtrending here. It doesn't make any sense. Price will most likely just continue to the top side until some type of, for me to switch my bias from bullish, extremely bullish, to bearish, I would have to see like this zone broken here, right? Like I would have to see some like downward movements, and then even at that point, like for me, if we look at this on a daily here, yeah, I would have to see this kind of break down, and then I would have to see our direction, correction, continuation, direction, correction, continuation. And that to me would be the beginning of a bearish market. For me right now, where we are here, we are totally bullish. Now that doesn't mean that I haven't been taking positions to the short side because I'm a scalper. Of course, we can take positions to the short side. Let's just do this. And I've seen some, obviously I've been watching TikTok, shit like that, and I see a lot of traders talking about how to trade all-time highs, which is such an interesting concept to me because what do you mean how to trade all-time highs? I don't get that. Why would there be a difference in how to trade all-time highs? Now, I understand that a lot of people look from left to right, and I do as well. But I don't look for I don't look for price targets because I don't need to look for price targets, because what we are doing is we are just looking for our trend to start, and we're simply just getting into positions following our trend. That's all we're doing, right? So we're simply just waiting for our indicator here to start glowing, and within a glowing indicator, we look for our up move, our direction, our correction, our continuation, right? Bigger correction for a larger continuation, correction, continuation, right? That's all we're doing. We're just looking for price to give us a direction, and then we are looking for a sideways style price action or some sideways PA, and we're just hoping that price still wants to keep moving to the top side or to the downside, whatever, doesn't matter. We just want price to keep continuing, right? So as we look through some of the most recent price action that we've had, I mean, it's been pretty clean. Like there's a while there, probably in, let me see, I believe in June. In June was a little bit of a choppy month, actually. June was not that good. I still made some good money in June. But July has been so far much, much cleaner. I've made about $23,000 in July so far. Majority of that coming from the previous week, where I had I don't know, I'll see if I can edit it into this part of the video, where I had a solid 5-day straight winning streak for about 13.6 thousand, which was pretty damn good. But again, like, okay, so what's different about all-time highs? Nothing. There's nothing different about all-time highs. You don't need to treat all-time highs any differently, right? Where we are in price action here, we're above all market structure, right? So if we were to look on a higher time frame, we are not going to see like liquidity targets or whatever you want. But I don't care, because look at what we have. We have a market that wants to move, right? So we have our trend, we have our direction, correction, continuation, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. That's all we're looking for, guys. Like it really is that simple, right? We need there to be money in the market so that we can have moves that sustain themselves and don't just break down like this, right? As you can see, as soon as our indicator stops glowing, you know, there's no reason to, you might try and take a long out of here. Sure, okay, that's going to be a minus. You're going to get a -1 there. Big deal, right? You just got, I don't know, you just got 5, 7.5 there if you're looking for 2.5 R. I've been getting away with a smaller stop loss recently. I've been using 40 ticks. So I've been actually going for about 2.5 R, as opposed to my 80 ticks when the market was a little bit more volatile. So here we go again. We have our indicators showing us that price wants to start moving upwards. We have a longer term sideways correction, right? We can only assume that we're going to start moving up. So internally within our external correction or direction correction continuation, our DCC, we're going to look for internal DCC, right? So we have our direction, correction, continuation, correction, continuation. That's all it is, right? So we have internal, external factors because the market is all fractal, right? Meaning that it's basically just a repeating cycle of the same moves over and over again on different scale, all happening at the same time. That's what the market is, right? And luckily for us, realistically, all it actually is this, right? It might look something like this, right? But all it is just this, and we're just looking for the cleanest area so that we can trade, right? That's all we want. We need clean PA. We need trending PA. We need money to be in the market, because money's cyclical, right? So a lot of times you're going to be like, oh, my strategy's not working. It's not your strategy, right? Your edge is always going to be the edge of the market, right? You just need to understand that money's cyclical within the market. So it's not always going to be moving the NASDAQ. People aren't always going to be investing, right? Institutions aren't always going to be pumping big money into the NASDAQ the way that we need it to be so that we can catch these bigger moves, right? So we have to have a lot of patience. So a lot of times what you're going to see is you're going to see people talking about, oh, the algorithm's been patched and blah, 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 blah. And that's not true at all, right? There's no like patching. It's just that money's just not apparent in the market right now, which means that your setups aren't going to follow through, right? So we need to have proper risk management so that we can find the setups that typically make sense, take them, and if they don't work, just have the understanding that, all right, well, honestly, the market's not moving as well as it potentially could be moving, and because of that, my my setups, my what's typically working for me, where my edge is not working. So I have a maximum amount of losses that I can take, right? That's what's going to keep you in the game long term, right? The understanding that the market's not always going to deliver the way that you want it to deliver, right? But we're prepared for the times that it's not going to deliver, and we're prepared for the times that it is going to deliver, right? So if you don't have any type of idea how to, I don't know, let's say that you're a trader who's not like myself, who doesn't have a fixed RR system, right? Let's say you're a trader who relies on some type of like external or left to right liquidity, let's call it, right? Meaning some type of liquidity target happening on previous price action that you're going to target on the current price action. Just trail your stop loss then, right? Like let's say, for example, we get in to a position here on our correction at 40 ticks, right? And then, well, what are we going to do here? Well, we're just going to trail our stop loss, right? So we have price come up, break through this high, right? We give a little bit of a pullback here. Once it breaks this section here, maybe we go break even, okay? So here we've gone break even. Now we have another pullback, and it's broken through the top side. Okay, cool. Well, maybe we'll move our stop loss here, right? And as we get a little bit more momentum, all right, well, we'll now move our stop loss here, right? And then we'll see a little sideways price action here. It's not much, but once we start seeing price move this way, generally what we're going to start to do is we're just going to start any type of smaller, sideways price action, and you get, I don't know, let's say about 1 RR away, 1.5 RR, right? Well, you're just going to look for the low point, and you're going to put your stop loss there, right? Or you can start trailing candles, right? Here, if you were to put your stop loss here, well, you're going to wait through all this price action. This is going to break this high, and you're going to put your stop loss here, right? And then let's see, you break this high, okay, stop loss goes here. Let's see, you break this high, stop loss goes here, and then you get stopped out of there, right? Done. That's all you gotta do. And you just hit 7 RR with a 40 tick stop loss. It's that simple. That's how you trade all-time highs. You have a fixed RR system, or you trail your stop loss. It is really that simple. But yeah, anyways, price action's been great lately. It's been fun trading. Again, we're just looking for the same thing over and over and over again. Again, here we go. Now we have a little bit of a downwards move. This was on Friday. Yeah, a little bit of a downwards move, pull back, glowing indicator, a little sideways. This was a little bit of like an intuition, an intuitive entry here. I've seen this so many times, so I entered on that one. A little bit sideways. This was actually a good 2RR. And that was basically it for that day. We're gonna see how the market opens later on today. My assumption going into this week is probably just probably more movement to the top side. That'll probably be the dominant direction. But I will be ready for any type of impulsive moves downwards. Yeah, anyways, that's it, guys. That's all I got for you today. I'll see you guys later on this week. Davey Trades out.